Fifth grade, thanks for joining me again. We are on lesson 97 of math. You need your math book, you need something to write with, you need to have read the whole lesson and to look over the lesson outline on Jupiter. We're starting on page 504. 504. So today we're talking about ratios. A ratio is a way of describing a relationship between two numbers. That's what a ratio is. We often write ratios as fractions. We write the terms of the ratio in order from top to bottom, which means we write the terms of the fraction in the order that they appear in the sentence. So the first number in the sentence, in the comparison between the two numbers, that's the numerator. The second number is the denominator. When we read a ratio, for example, in our book on page 504, we have the ratio 12/18. We read that ratio as 12/18. When we are reading a ratio, we use 2 instead of over. We reduce ratios the same way we reduce fractions, but we do not simplify improper ratios into mixed numbers. We leave ratios as fractions even if they're improper. We reduce them if we can, but we leave them as they are. So let's do a little bit of practice, because that's it. That's ratios. There we go. On page 505, we have a couple of examples. So there were 20 prairie dogs and 30 jackrabbits in Henry's backyard. Henry's backyard sounds disgusting, I will be honest. So question A is asking us, what was the ratio of jackrabbits to prairie dogs? So in that, when we write the ratio of jackrabbits to prairie dogs, jackrabbits, the number of jackrabbits needs to be the numerator. The number of prairie dogs needs to be the denominator, because that's the order that they appear in the sentence. So our initial ratio is going to be 30/20. I'm going to reduce this because I can and I should. And the ratio is 3:2. So what that means is that in Henry's backyard, his disgusting backyard that's full of gross animals, for every 3 jackrabbits, there are going to be 2 prairie dogs. Okay, that's what a ratio means. It's the relationship between those two groups. Question B is asking, what is the ratio of prairie dogs to jackrabbits? Now that might sound to you like it's the same question, but it's not, because we're going to get a different ratio because our terms are going to appear in a different order. In what it was the ratio of prairie dogs to jackrabbits, prairie dogs, the number of prairie dogs needs to be the numerator. The number of jackrabbits needs to be the denominator. So our initial ratio is going to be 20/30. We're going to reduce that because we can and we should. And the ratio of prairie dogs to jackrabbits is 2/3. So even though these two ratios are talking actually about the same groups of animals, they're different ratios because they're describing different relationships. Okay. C and D, there were 8 red socks and 10 blue socks in George's drawer. So that's our information. And, sorry, I got to move my microphone a little bit there. So question C is asking us, what was the ratio of red socks to blue socks? So in this case, in this question, the number of red socks needs to be the numerator because it comes first in the sentence. The number of blue socks needs to be the denominator. So our first ratio that we get, if I can show it to you, is 8/10, or 8/10. We need to read that correctly. I need to read that correctly. 8/10. That's the relationship or ratio between red socks and blue socks. I am going to reduce because I can and I should. And I reduce to the ratio Yep. 4 to 5. Sorry, I did just check that I did it right. That's my ratio of red socks to blue socks, 4 to 5. D asked me what is the ratio of blue socks to red socks. So for D, when it's asking about the ratio between blue socks and red socks, blue socks needs to be the numerator and red socks needs to be the denominator. So my first ratio is 10 to 8. I'm going to reduce this because I can, but I am not going to simplify. My ratio reduces to 5 to 4. 5 to 4. 5 to 4. I am going to leave this as 5 to 4. I am not going to simplify this into a mixed number with a proper fraction. I just don't do that for ratios. Okay, so that is ratios. I hope this was helpful. Have a great time doing your practice, and I will see you guys here for more math. Bye, everybody.